welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ann Shen and I'm an illustrator, author, and designer living in LA. I'm so excited to do this paint with me today featuring Maimeri gouache sent to me by the company, and also to start this channel to give you a peek into my studio and my life as a professional artist. It's one of my goals this year to create a daily painting practice, and I'm planning on sharing it here with you when I can. So thank you for joining me, and as they say, like and subscribe. So to kick off this first Paint With Me and Q&A episode, and I need a shorter name for this, so if you have any suggestions, leave me a comment. And to celebrate the new year, I pick questions that are themed around beginning again as I paint these bananas. Questions are submitted via my Instagram stories, and you can also leave questions in the comments below for me to answer in future videos. Let's get started. The first question is, do you have a process for setting New Year goals or reflecting on the previous year? Now, this is one of my favorite things to talk about when thinking about a new year. What I like to do is take stock of what I've done in the past year by making a list of positives and negatives, things that went well, things I'm proud of, things I accomplished, and just overall really positive experiences, which can be trips, events with friends, nights that I just spent laughing a lot and I want to do more of. And then I also write down the not so great things that happen, because those things also shape our lives. Like last year, I unexpectedly lost 2 of my chickens. And so that was a very stressful time in my life. And while it was not a positive, it's definitely something that shaped my life. And I think it's important to remember all these things, to remember what we've grown through and what we've experienced. They color who we are. And you can't know where you're going to go if you don't know where you've been. So taking that time to reflect on the past year and making it a list always really helps me. And I actually want to get better at this, and I plan on doing it monthly in my journal, just taking stock of what's happened, whether negative, positive, neutral, just notable things, and maybe lessons I've learned and things that I want to grow and work on, and also things that I'm proud of myself for doing, because that's just as important as the things that you achieved. And so for setting New Year goals, I'm not a big New Year's resolution person anymore. Instead, I like to pick a word for the year ahead, and reflecting on the year past and where I've struggled actually helps me figure out my word for the year ahead and what I want to focus on. So for 2022, my word was love, and I wanted to focus more on doing everything with love and leading with that. And for 2023, my new year, this was a word that came to me through working with an astrologer. I had an astrologer read my birth chart and talk to me about transitions that were coming up for the next year. I gave myself that as a birthday gift, and I'd highly recommend it. It really helped me understand why and what I was going through and how to best approach it, even if there are challenging transitions coming up. And so for me, what she echoed to me and what I'd been feeling in my heart was that I needed to have more fun in life. And that's kind of what this YouTube channel is for too, to have more fun in life and just experiment with things that that's not part of my comfort zone. I mean, being on YouTube is definitely not on my comfort zone, so please be nice. But I did want to record my process more and share it with people, and just also really get back into a painting practice and exploring my own personal style. And so that's how I ended up with the word fun. I wanted to pursue things that were fun, follow my curiosity, do anything that sounds fun to me, which may not necessarily be things that are fun to other people. And also accepting that aspect of myself. I think it's really fun to spend a day at home alone painting in my sketchbook and planning and dreaming about the next year. I think it's fun to have deep conversations with friends. And I think it's fun to have game nights and dance in kitchens and have craft days. It's just what's fun to me. Maybe I'm a big dork. I don't really care. That's who I am in life. And just embracing what is fun and true to me. And following that, I trust is going to take me to the next level. So I'd encourage you to think about that and maybe figure out what your word for 2023 would be. And if you're so inclined, share it with me in the comments. I also set, in addition to setting a new word, I set some goals that may be aligned with that, and also just personal goals that have to do with different aspects of my life. So for me, my categories are travel goals, work goals, personal goals, and health goals. And under travel goals, that's places I want to go again, because travel is a huge part of my life and things that make me happy. And so since we haven't done that in the last 3 years, it's been now a priority for me to dream about where I want to go again. And then for personal goals, these will include things like health goals and things I want to do around the house and in my life to get my life together. And then obviously professional goals are things that I want to do with my business, my career, and where I want to be professionally as I level up. And yeah, so putting them into categories kind of helps me break it down so it doesn't feel like such an overwhelming list. And I always make sure to include things that are fun for me. Like, every year I like to read as many books as my age. So I set that as a goal. And then, of course, the travel one, setting a list of places that I want to travel to for the next year. I find that writing things down really helps put things in motion, like your subconscious works on it and makes it happen. And then also just recording it for yourself for when things get busy and you forget your center, your purpose, your why. Coming back to what you've written down always really helps. So those are my New Year practices, and I hope that helps you or gives you some ideas of things to do. I'd love to hear your word if you want to share it with me. And then let's move on to the second question, which is kind of related to New Year's goals. Question number 2, how do you stay motivated? Now, this is a really tough question because motivation comes and goes, right? And that can really be related to what's going on with the rest of your life and how you feel energy-wise and how much emotional energy you can give to something. And so instead of thinking of staying motivated, I think of myself as just getting to work. I don't wait for motivation to come as an artist because I work professionally as an artist. So there's no way that I could just wait for motivation to come before I get to work. I could be waiting all day. I could be waiting all month, all year. And so I just get to work with an idea of something that I'm following with my curiosity. And I think that is more meaningful to lead with your curiosity than to wait for motivation to come. When you're curious about something, you're going to look it up on the internet. You're going to ask people about it. When you're curious about something in your creative work, you're going to just start exploring it instead of waiting till you have all the right tools, all the right information, and everything you need. And so just follow that curiosity and just try. Just sit down and try. And if you're really not feeling it after 10 minutes, you can't drop into that flow, then stop. Don't put the pressure on yourself to perform in any certain way. Don't wait for motivation to come to do the things that you want to do. Just start. Just try something. And just sit your butt down in your studio and get started. Okay. So, and also I want to add that sometimes maybe whatever you're going through, you need to go through it. And that's where you are in your journey. And it really isn't a matter of motivation, but just feeling through what you're feeling. And I know that comes up a lot in the beginning of the year because we're going through a lot. We're processing. It's a time of rest in nature. And so it should be a time of rest in us. We're not above nature. We're actually part of nature. We're living, breathing beings that need cycles of rest just as much as we do cycles of motivation and go-get-emness. Okay, so my third and final question I'm going to answer in this video is, how do I not be terrified of 2023? 2022 was tough. Oh, dear questioner, I am so sorry that 2022 was tough for you. It was tough for many of us, so you're definitely not alone. And every year feels like it's getting tougher and tougher, but I think that's just part of being alive. And the more we know, and the magic of being human. I just want you to know that there's always something amazing that could happen still. The best thing hasn't happened to you yet. And just the possibility of that can hopefully help you feel more optimistic and hopeful about the new year. There are so many amazing people you haven't met who are about to change your life. There's so many experiences that you could never have dreamed of or planned for at this time in your life. And so hopefully you can find it in yourself to remember to dream and leave room for surprises and the unexpected. And that will help you feel less terrified. I feel like gratitude and fear can't exist in the same space in your brain either. And so no matter how difficult it feels to find gratitude in this moment, making a list of things that you are grateful for, each breath you get to take, each step you get to take, that your hands work, that your heart works even without you trying. These are all things that are small miracles that we could feel grateful for every day, that we may take for granted because we're not consciously thinking about it. And making that gratitude list could hopefully take you out of that space of fear and terror and more into a space of appreciating and understanding the beautiful miracle that is you and me in this time together. What a miracle it is that we're all here together at the same time. And then I hope you let yourself be open to the magic of anything could happen. The best hasn't happened to you yet. And just remember that at any moment. An email, a call, an accidental run-in at the store, a getting back in touch with an old friend can change your life. And that's the amazing part of being alive. Anything is still possible. And I hope you have a much better 2023. So that's it for my Q&As. I hope these were helpful. Thank you so much for watching this video and listening through with me. I'd love to get more of your questions about art, about life, about things I do. Any questions you have about painting with gouache, owning chickens, dogs, and cats. And thank you so much for bearing with me and being here. I'm really happy that you're here. I hope we create something special here. And I'm painting these bananas because I've been really into still life lately. And I wanted to make more patterns, make more art that feels more true to things I'm interested in and would want hanging in my house. I've been so focused on writing and illustrating books and creating work for other companies that I've felt the call to get back into making art for myself and finding my voice, and up-leveling my own skills. So I hope that by watching these videos, you could see that all it really takes is practice. And practice is the hardest part, to show up and sit down and do it. So thank you so much for joining me. And I'll catch you next time. Bye. Oh, and if you want to learn how to paint with me, check out my Skillshare videos in the links below.